Hey guys, thank you for tuning in today. So, today I'm going to be talking about my experience and the pros and cons to private school. So, if you want to know or hear more about that, then keep on watching. Okay, so the first pro that I have is better education. What I mean by that is the main goal for private school is to provide you with the college mentality, shall I say. They're basically trying to build you into the ideal perfect college student. So meaning like teachers take time, for you. They take time out their day to help you understand. Like if you're struggling, they say, "Hey, look, come after class, I'll help you." All this other stuff. Basically they're doing what they can to provide you with the best education possible. I'll throw it in, for example, like with my English class at my private school, we really took a lot of time to go over, proper writing structure. So like MLA format is what we use. And when I went to college, that's what they use there too. And I have to say that, my private school really put me ahead of the game, because as soon as I got to college, my first English class, writing assignment after writing assignment after writing assignment. And, it really helped to have that, background knowledge of like all the resources that I used during high school to help me, succeed in my college career. And succeed is exactly what it did. So, getting A's on all my assignments in English class, it really helped, me see that my high school really did have a good effect. Especially seeing like people in college not knowing what MLA format was completely. I'm just like, that's crazy, because that's exactly what I learned in high school. So I do think they set you up for success in, the mentality to prepare you for college. Okay, so one of my cons is force of religion. And by force of religion, I just mean because it's a Catholic school, obviously they're going to teach their Catholic ways. So when signing up or when going to a private school, you do have to take a religion course. I mean, I took all 4 years, I had to take a religion class, and during that time it really made me question my religion in some ways. I just felt like, why didn't they just intermingle some other, religions in there for us to learn? Hearing about Catholicism, whatever, just hearing that religion constantly kind of just puts a damper on things, because there's tons of other religions out there. And it really made me question everything. Like honestly, at some points in that 4 years I had multiple identity crises, because it's just like I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And that's why I felt like it was forced, because you're forcing me to learn this religion. Half the people that go there aren't either religious or either Catholic. And so I mean, I guess this con can be up there, because what do you expect? It's a Catholic school. But at the same time, you got to give students some type of leeway. Some of us aren't trying to hear that. And not in like a bad way, but sometimes it gets overwhelming. And I will say, like, of course you have mass, and we have mass typically once a month, sometimes more than that, depending on if there was like a specific day they wanted to have, like Our Lady of Sorrows and stuff like that. But typically it was once a month, and we had ours in the gym, and we didn't have any air in our school. So imagine 300, 400 kids in one gym, standing up, sitting down. People would pass out. That's how bad it would get. People would pass out in there. So just imagine like 300 to 400 kids, in one gym, standing up, sitting down, priesting over you, priesting over you, shall I say. And it's just, it can become very overwhelming and exhausting sometimes. So I would label that as a con. And another thing to add about religion too. So coming into private school, as I said, I knew the bare minimum about the Catholic world. So coming into there, pretty much everybody in private school has a previous background of Catholic schooling. Like they were born into a Catholic family. They went to a private, elementary school, private middle school. Like this is all they know. So I felt like I was behind, because they were ahead of the game. They knew everything already. So like at a certain point, I really felt like I was behind the game. These people, that's what they know it. Their parents know it. They know it. So it was just like, okay, I just constantly always felt like I was behind, truly. My second pro is more opportunities. By more opportunities, I mean doors being open. So because I went to the school that I went to, you know, it's very well known. So, you know, as soon as I tell people like, oh, I went there, automatic, they're like, oh, you go there? Like, oh, you must be smart. Like, only smart people get into that school. Which is furthest from the truth because, you know, I was like an average student. I mean, I did good, you know, academically, but I wasn't over excelling in, you know, those areas. You know, I was just average. So by that I mean, like, my junior year, I think I volunteered at the prosecutor's office, and, you know, because I went to that school, you know, people know people that went there. So just say it like this. Say like there's a CEO of a company. That CEO grandson, even them, they went to my high school. Bam, that opens doors, you know, because as soon as you put like somewhere on your resume like, oh yeah, I went here, guaranteed, I'm guaranteed they either know somebody went there or they know that school. So basically what it does, it's just opens doors, you know, open doors that you never thought that would have been open. I guess, like, it's just opportunities that are there because of, you know, what school you went to. Okay, so let's get into a con. So the next one I have is not much diversity. Now, my private school, my freshman year, handful of black people. Like, and very small class, you know. We were probably the biggest class that had the most black people, if that makes sense. We had the most black people, like, probably that school has ever seen, truly. Because, like, when they would have, like, the class pictures on the wall of every graduating class, and I would look at them and I'd be like, there's not many, you know, black people here. But it can really alter you, especially as a black girl. So my experience as a black girl at my private school wasn't the best. You know, when I went to public school, I was surrounded by people like me, people who look like me, you know, and it was really nice because everyone has the same experience. We can all vibe with each other. We all know. It's like, I don't know, we have like a sense, like we all are a community. Black Panther pose. But when I went to my private school, that kind of changed because that tight-knit community I once knew was kind of gone, you know. Groups for black people, shall I say, in my school. And, you know, I'm thankful that I was able to find my, you know, my community there, because if I didn't, I don't think I would have made it that far. But it can alter your experience, truly. I mean, I can't really speak on the male's perspective, but I can say what I witnessed. And what I witnessed was, it was easier for the boys to intermingle more, especially if they play like a sport like football. Like, they were already tight knit. For girls, I feel like it was harder, you know, like when, you know, a different race is dominating and we're like, you know, the minority, can feel like sometimes we felt left out, shall I say, you know. And I know that I felt left out for sure in a lot of things, because I just didn't feel like, you know, I was I don't know the word. I just didn't feel like I was connected with the entire school there. I can also say that, you know, coming into that private school, I knew absolutely no one. So it was also hard for me to make friends. I'm not really a talkative, especially in high school. I did not talk. I was known as like the girl with the long hair, truly. Like, hey, that girl with the long hair, the quiet one. So like, I didn't talk, and it was really hard for me to like make friends. So I'll just say, like, it was a struggle. And I feel like a lot of private schools tend to lack diversity. I don't know why. I don't know. Yeah, that's all I got for the lack of diversity at private schools. Alright, so the next pro that I have is individual English. Individual attention from staff. So I say so much. What that means is, like, these teachers want to help you. Truthfully, like, they get paid on average, I think it said that private school teachers get paid more than public school teachers, and I'm gonna assume that's true. So they basically get paid to help you. I know from my experience at public school, the teachers wanted to help you, but to a certain extent. So basically, when I was in private school, these teachers had like service hours, and when I got to college, I seen that professors had service hours as well, which made sense because this is a harder learning type stuff, so of course you're gonna need some extra help. But these teachers would be there till like 5 o'clock helping these kids because that they wanted to help you. That's what they get paid for, so they wanted to do it. And so like, I was never one to really speak out if I struggled. Like I said, I was really quiet, so I kind of suffered in silence. But at the end of the day, I always knew in the back of my mind that these teachers were there to help me. I mean, they would say it every day, like, hey, if you need help, like, come see me after class, come see me after school, I'm here, like, I'm here to help you. And you know, my experience at public school was the complete opposite. Not saying that they wasn't going to help me if I asked them. It was the effort that they put in, which was zero. When I went to private school, they put in effort to make sure you got, you know, the grade that you know, wanted. Alright, next on my list of cons is grading scale. Now, I'm going to try to find my grading scale because when you look at it, you're going to think, ain't no way that's true. Like, off the top of my head, I really can't remember, but I swear it was like a A+ was like 97 to like 99. Like in that bracket, you had to get a 97 or a 99 in order to get like an A in a class. And everything after that was like 3-point distance. So my first year there, I'll admit I did horrible because I came from a public school whose grading scale was like, should I call it lenient? Like it was just so absurd that there was like 3 points in between, and that could make or break you failing a class. So my freshman year, I took biology. I'm not a science person. I am not a math person. I hate both of them equally. To think when I was like 5 I wanted to be a doctor. Absolutely not. But my freshman year, I took biology. Literally came to the brink of failing it because of this stupid grading scale. Like, I was like on the brink of like a D and an F, and I think a D was passing. Yeah, I think a D was passing. On the brink of it, and I'm like, dude, like, I'm talking to the teacher, like, can you work with me? Like, give me some extra credit or something, because there's no way that like I'm 2 points away from like a D. Like, it makes or breaks your grade. It makes or break your GPA. It could ruin everything, truthfully. So the grading scale, absurd. Also, GPAs, I don't know, it's a different scale. I'm gonna try to find it. It's such a different scale, and it was just actually crazy how that worked. So when I was in public school, I'm talking, I had like 3.5 to 4.0s for days. And actually, I really thought I was on top of the world in public school, because I'm like, dude, I may be kind of smart. And when I went to private school, I'm like, okay, never mind. I don't think I should be here. Like, I was like, I went from passing classes to like coming on a thin brink of failing. I was so confused. And I'm not gonna lie, it took me all the way to like my senior year to realize that it's not me, it's the stupid grading scale that they have. Because I'm like, am I the problem? Am I just like not retaining this information to my best abilities? Truthfully. So take that in consideration before, you know, you send your kids or you're in private school. Just know, it's not you, it's the grading scale. Okay, and so this is actually my final pro, and then we got like 50 more cons. No, I'm joking. But this is my final pro. So my last one is tuition assistance and grants. So private school is expensive. Private school is expensive, and depending on where you go, private school is practically college. College tuition is practically the same amount for private school. So my mom pretty much paid a college tuition when I went to my private school. Like, don't get me started on the fees. It's ridiculous how much private school actually costs. But they do offer tuition assistance and grants. So because I was in what is considered a failing school district, automatically I got, grants. You just have to look in your area, because it really depends on where you are, to be honest. And not saying that the only tuition assistance you can get is from if you're in a failing school district. No, there are so many scholarships you can fill out. It's ridiculous, and I like that, because why would you want to go somewhere and pay full price? Truly, like, I'm not paying $40,000 for 4 years just as a whole. No, I'm gonna need some help with that. Like, that's physically impossible for somebody to pay. So they do allow opportunities for, people to get tuition assistance and grants, and it's really nice, because that stuff really does help and it does add up. So having that in there, it checks off my pros list. Alright, now to get into my long list of cons. So for this one, we have cost of additional services. Now, I just talked about how they offer you grants and tuition assistance. No. That covers, your tuition, sure. But when you get in there, it's a different ball game. Alright, so I have lunch. Don't think that you're about to get lunch for free. Let me tell you something. Thankfully, I'm so thankful for my grandma and my mom, because you can't make it. You can't make it without a support system. So lunch costs, and is it cheap? Yeah, it's cheap. So like, I think our pizza was like $1.50, and they had a salad bar. They do it by weight. I think my salads came up to maybe like $3-4 here and there. It was a small salad, by the way. People would get plates. Those were the rich people. Nah, but that stuff starts racking up. So in total, I'll probably spend, I say, about $20 to like $30 a week. Pushing it, maybe. All I know is that stuff racks up and it can be expensive. And I'm thankful for my support system. A lot of people didn't have that though. Like, I know a lot of my friends packed lunch. You can pack lunch, okay? You can. A lot of my friends packed lunch, and some of my friends didn't eat lunch at all. There were days where like some of my friends was like, let me we had a thumb scanner. I feel like my school was ahead. We had a scanner. We scan our thumb. They'd be like, yo, pay for my lunch for me. I got you next lunch. Stuff like that. So the fact that we had to do that to eat, wild. Next, parking passes. Why do I have to pay to park? Like, to this day, I cannot understand why we had to pay to park. Why is that a thing? So my parking passes were, I think, $80 for the entire year. And don't let you be ahead of the game. So if you were ahead of the game, you could drive. I started driving my junior. So yeah, I started driving my junior year. Now, for example, my brother, he's a sophomore and he's 16. So he can start driving right now. You ahead of the game, you got to get a parking pass your sophomore year. And okay, so the parking passes, I swear, when I first started my freshman year, I feel like the parking passes were $60. By the time I got to be a senior, which it was online due to COVID, thank God I didn't have to pay for a parking pass. But by the time I got to that point, the parking pass was like $85. So don't think you're gonna skip out on getting a parking pass. And you may think, okay, well, don't buy it, just park somewhere else. Our school was on a hill. There's nowhere else to park. They got us. They really were ahead of the game, because they're like, these kids don't got nowhere else to park. They have to get a parking pass. And you may think, okay, well, just put something over there that looks like the parking pass. Nah, these little top flight security people, they'd be looking in your car, making sure that you got the exact parking pass, the right one, the same one for the year. They're looking. So at a point in time, I think it was either their third time telling you, or maybe the fifth. And if you didn't have your parking pass after they told you to get one, fine. I think it was like $200. Yeah. They want their money. They coming after you. They want you. So I would just keep that in mind. Before you start looking into going to private school or sending your kids there, just know they gonna get their money regardless. I guess this also goes in hand with, I didn't play a sport, but don't get me started. If you played a sport, you not getting nothing for free. No. Uniforms, pictures, all that stuff, it costs money. So, and I'm not sure, I've never played a sport, or when I did, it was outside of school, but for public school, I'm not really sure if that stuff comes included. But either way, if it does, I feel like in public school, fine, I'm not paying you any money, so okay, I'll pay for your uniform and pictures. But when you paying tuition and on top of your kid playing a sport or something, why are you asking me for money for uniforms? Like the entire time my mom was like, where's the tuition money going? The entire time she's like, every time I would come to her and be like, Mom, I need money for this, she'd be like, what is the tuition paying for? I don't know. I truly don't know. Another con that I have, it can be intermingled with a pro if you think differently than me. It's a con for me, uniforms. I hate uniforms. It could be considered a pro because you don't gotta buy your kids, clothes, which that can get pricey, truly. Like paying for clothes can get expensive, especially like shoes on top of that. It can get expensive. I hated uniforms. I didn't understand why we had to wear them. So, especially for private school. Now, you may be thinking, okay, uniform, collar, khaki pants. True. No. You gotta have their logo on there. Dude, it was so funny. So, you don't have their logo on there, written up detention. You think you're gonna get away with just wearing a polo or a polo shirt? No. You're gonna need the logo somewhere on there. That goes in hands with hoodies. Hoodies they didn't have the logo on there. Say you come in there with a hoodie that say Cavaliers on there. Take it off. Don't take it off, detention. Dude, I'm cold. Take it off. It don't got our logo. It don't got our name on there. Dude, really? Really? This is a con for me too, because the prices of these uniforms, oh my God. So, thankfully my school had a thing before school started where they would get like donations from past students, all their clothes, lay them out, $5 a shirt. That's where I racked up all my year. Like, because if you didn't go there and you pay for a new shirt, $45? $45 for a shirt? Don't even start on the jackets. Jackets was $60, $75 for a jacket? Really? Now that I'm really like saying this out loud, I'm really starting to see how absurd a lot of this stuff was. So yeah, no, this stuff costs money and it racks up. And don't think, well, why can't tuition cover it? We're asking the same question here, man. We don't know. Tuition don't cover it though. So when it came to uniforms, you had to wear logo polos, khaki pants were fine, blue, whatever, that's fine. Shoes, wear whatever shoes you want. When it came to shorts though, when it came to shorts, skirts, knee length, and some of these people would get away with it. I don't know how they did, but they would get away with it. When it came to shorts, I remember one year they put a ban on our shorts for the winter time because people were wearing shorts in the winter. How can you tell us that we can't wear shorts in the winter? Was I doing it? Absolutely not. It's cold out here, it's snowing. But people was mad over that. Junior year, sophomore, junior year, they said we can't wear hoodies with the hoods no more. Now, this sparked the outrage because freshman year, sophomore year, we all bought hoodies with hoods on them. Then y'all turn around and say we can't wear our hoodies with the hoods on no more? When I tell you, not only was the students going crazy, but parents was in there like, especially because my grandma, she really bought like a lot of my hoodies and stuff, because I don't know what it is about grandmas, but they see you shivering. Put this on, baby. Put this on. So like the entire school was like, so what are we supposed to do with our hoodies? What did they give us? They was like, you just can't wear them. Why can't we wear hoodies with the hoods on them? I think their whole agenda was to build a professional attire looking kid, because when you get out into the world, you know, professional attire is what is seen most. I don't know, but it's just like, we're in school, we're kids, why can't we wear hoodies? I don't know. I really don't understand that. But yeah, that's one of the things that you got to look out for, uniforms. Because they're building this, you know, perfect professional person to go into the outside world, not only do they really care about uniforms, don't let you have piercings. Don't let you have piercings. Don't let you have tattoos. Dude. So, I got my nose piercings after. My ears, girls can only have 2 earrings in at a time. Each ear. 2 earrings on each ear. If you had more, it really depends on the teacher. If the teacher want to nitpick, you can get in trouble for it. But if the teacher, you know, isn't paying attention or they just don't care, then you'll be fine. Some teachers out there be looking. So when it came to nose piercings, boys at my school typically had boys couldn't wear earrings. Boys couldn't wear earrings. No. So if you had studs in your ear, take them out. Hoops in your ear, take them out. I remember this dude, I don't know why he did this, because he knew the rules. It was like our sophomore year. He knew the rules. He got his ears pierced, and you know, after you get your ears pierced, you can't take the earrings out. He came to school. They seen, what class? This had to be like close to the end of the day, and I knew he was mad because I knew he thought he was gonna get away with it. He came in there, ears pierced. He had big studs too. I'm like, dude, really? Come on. But came in there. Teacher's like, you gotta take your earrings out. He's like, I can't. I just got them pierced. Teacher, I don't know what to tell you. Buddy looked at him, looked like he was about to cry, because you know the pain. You take special nose earring, you take a piercing out, that thing's gonna close in like 5 seconds. So boys couldn't have their ears pierced. You couldn't have any type of piercing on your face. Dude came in with a nose piercing, take it out. My brother, he goes to private school. He got his nose pierced before he went there. He had to get a clear stud to put into his nose, and even then they still look at that as a piercing in your nose. So you can try to get away with it, but you can't. Tattoos though, cover them up. But it really depends on the person, because when it came to football players, when I tell you they sleeves tatted up, just tatted up, I'm like, first of all, y'all look like grown men. I was so confused when I got there, like my first year, looking at these grown men sitting in my class. I remember my freshman year, my first day, I walked into my English class. Buddy sitting at the front, full beard. I mean, hair, looked like he like 25. Muscles, toned. I looked in the class and I'm like, oh, is this like teachers only or something like that? He was like, oh no, this is your class. I'm like, what is he doing here? I mean, these football players were buff. They scared me. I mean, just big. I'm like, why are y'all so big? It don't make no sense. But either way. When it came to like football, if you played a sport, you could show your tattoos. These teachers would be like, because football was our thing. That's what our school was known for. We were good at football. We were good at all sports. Honestly, we dominated all sports, but football, that was our sport. So if you were on the football team, you automatically dominated. And you get to wear your tattoos, but let me come in there with a sleeve. I'm getting sent right to the office. They'll probably make me put like duct tape over my arm or something to hide it, but that's something you gotta look out for. Uniforms and piercings, tattoos, anything of the sort, you're not gonna get away with it. You know what I also just thought of? Hair. This is gonna break my heart telling this story, because this story, it will remain with me to the end of time. My freshman year, I dyed my hair red. It was black at the top, red bottom. I'll probably show you a picture. I dyed my hair red because I was like, I just want to do something different. Okay, I get to school. It's all good. It's all fine, you know. Sophomore year come. My hair is still bright red. I actually got it retouched up, so it was really bright at that point. I walk into the lunchroom, the dean of students, aka principal, comes up to me. He says, you can't have your hair like that. I'm like what? He was like, that color. I said, what do you mean? Prior to this, he told me my hair color was fine. Freshman year, he said it was fine. Okay. I said, well, what do you mean you told me it was fine? He was like, well, not anymore. What? I'm telling you, like, this is the middle of the lunchroom. Everybody's sitting there. I mean, everybody talking so they don't hear our conversation. I'm on the brink of tears. Because I'm like, dude, this is my hair. I love my hair. You want me to, I just got it re-dyed. You want me to re-dye it a different color? So, I call my mom. I feel like that's like a typical thing for kids to do. Call your mom. But I called my mom. I said, Mom, this dude tripping. He telling me my hair color is not right. She's like, what do you mean? He told you it was fine. I'm like, I don't know. Call up here. So we go to the office. We talking to the lady. She's like, yeah, in our rule book, bring out the rule book. Bam! Section 25C-5. Yeah, you can't have your hair that color. Really? But I was like, you told me my hair was fine. Nah, you can't have your hair two-toned. You can't have your hair one color and the other color if it's not natural. How you gonna tell me red's not my natural hair color? Look at this. No. But no, like, so I ended up having to dye my hair black. I think I just went black. Or did I go brown? I went somewhere. I think I dyed it back black. Literally, like, it was literally like 2 days after I got my hair re-dyed. Nope, you can't. You can't do stuff, you know, like they really strip you away from being, you know, yourself. You know, you have to be a professional person in their eyes, which is ridiculous to me because they're really just, I don't know, it strips people's identities away. Like you can't express yourself when you go to private school. Nope, you're just professional all the time. So yeah. And one final thing, when it came to boys' hair, couldn't cross the shoulder. When it came to beards, it was a measurement. Beards couldn't be over 4 inches or something like that. So if you're a dude and you're thinking about going to private school, just know if you got long hair, it can't cross your shoulders. You know, you can't have any type of weird colors going on. Now, I think an exception is made. I know a girl went to my school and she had dreads that were really long. Now, you know that school cannot tell you to cut your dreads. So if they get in there talking about, no, you gotta cut your dreads, lies. So when it comes to like dreads and stuff, I think exceptions are made. They can be long. But when it comes to just like, you know, just long hair, you know, goes over your shoulders, can't do it. Like, it's, the whole situation is ridiculous. That was for my private school though. You would probably have to do your research on like their rule book, but I'm pretty sure all of them are the same. Okay, another con that I have is, this is kind of just being out there, not able to decorate my cap for graduation. That kind of hurt me because I had a whole plan to decorate my cap in the most fantastic way possible. And then they tell you literally like, they tell you like a week before we graduated, hey, you decorate your cap, you're not going to be able to walk the stage. What? You're gonna hold my diploma because I decorated my cap? Really? Is it that serious? So when I see people, you know, who went to public schools decorating their caps, I'm like, wish that was me, truly. I guess this one is kind of like just out there, but at the same time it's like, dude, why can't do anything? That's the entire time I was at that school, I just felt like I can't do anything. They took fun out of the freaking dictionary. It's not a thing anymore. You can't do anything, basically. And last but not least, we have favoritism in sports. When it came to my school, I'll say, people, especially the football players, if you were on that football team, I feel like they gave these kids special treatment. Okay, let me give it some information. The football players that I knew, don't get me wrong, I feel like, you know, like that thing they say like, oh, jocks are dumb. Not true, most of the time. Don't get me wrong, I knew some football players that were like really smart, but some of them were kind of behind on the game. And I feel like they got special treatment because, for example, you would have football players asking us, like, just regular people like me, hey, can you do my chemistry homework for me? I don't feel like doing it. Oh, can you do this for me? I don't know how to do it. I wasn't paying attention in class. when you would say no, and they would still have a GPA like a 3.6, I question it, okay? I have no facts behind it. I can't really say if this is true or not, but this is how I felt it. Like, I just felt like these teachers were very lenient to these football players. Why? Because they make most of their money off of football. That's their thing. My school was a football school. You know, people would say like, oh yeah, no, like, yeah, my private school was just a private school. No, my private school was a football school. They lived and breathed football. So of course they want these football players to do good, because if they don't do good, then they can't play. So what are they going to do? They're going to let these football players do good, because that's what they need in life. So I don't know, I felt like there was favoritism there, because I didn't get no special treatment when it came to doing my homework. I couldn't ask somebody else to do my homework for me. I wish, but you know, no, it wasn't possible. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps up my pros and cons list of private school. I think so. I hope I didn't forget anything. I do think I'm forgetting something, because it was 4 years, and for 4 years I lived and breathed that school, so, you know, I may have forgot something. You know what, I'll say this. There's also technology. This may be a pro. When I went to my private school, we had iPads, and you know, they were given to us. Why couldn't we had to give them back after we graduated? Why couldn't we have our iPads? We paid $40,000. Why can't we have this iPad? But no, we had to give it back. But technology plays a huge part. I know a lot of private schools are intermingling some type of form of like an iPad, computer, tablet, you know, something of the sorts to, you know, promote, I don't know, promote technology. I don't know. Okay, so now I say I pretty much wrapped up my pros and cons list of private school, hopefully. I'm glad that I did get to experience both public and private schooling. Like, I felt like if I would have just went to public school, then I would have never got this side. If I would have never went to private school, then I would have never got that side. So it's interesting. You know, private school, it's a different ball game, especially for people who've never been there before. So I remember this had to be like my freshman year. I begged my mom to take me out of private school. Begged her. I hated it. I hate to say that, like, hate's a strong word, but like, I really did not like going there. I just never felt like I was one of them. You know, like, I never felt like I was inserted into the school, you know. So that's something that you have to take into consideration when deciding on going to, or deciding to send your kids to private or public school, you know. But as much as I begged her, I'm really glad that I decided to keep going there, because of, you know, my public school failing. Like, it was a failing public schooling. So you have to make sacrifices. Like, I feel like I sacrificed my mental health for a good education, but at the same time, it's like, would I rather have went to a schooling, got a bad education, and did what? You know? You know what? I forgot. No, it's all coming back to me. I forgot something. Because I went to, this goes in hand with going opportunities. Because I graduated from a private school, when I went to apply for colleges, the people that gave me the most money were private schools, private colleges, because, you know, they see your background, they see your history of, you know, private schooling. So they want people who have that background to come to, you know, private schools. I did end up accepting a private school to go to, and I decided not to go there anymore, because it just felt too much like my high school. I didn't like it. So I feel like this should be a deciding factor of whether to go to private school or public school. What needs to happen is that you need to ask your children, you know, or you need to decide as a you know, a child for yourself. Do I want to go to a private Catholic school, college, or do I want to go to a public college? Because private schooling can affect that majorly. If I would have went to a public school, a public high school, you know, though the education would have been bad, the amount of loans and the amount of, not loans, the amount of grants and scholarships that I would have received from these public colleges, crazy. I would have received a lot of money because they know, especially my grades would have been like 10 times better. They know that the school district is bad and they see that you're excelling. They want you out of there. So they're gonna give you money. When these colleges see that you went to a private school, these public colleges don't give you any money because they're like, you already got money. You afforded private school, you got money. So either come here with the little money we give you or go to one of these private colleges that give you all the money in the world. So you really have to make a sacrifice. You have to pick or choose. Which one do you think is going to help you in the long run? Okay, so I think I need to wrap this video up because I feel like it's kind of long and I keep remembering things. And I'm like, dang, this video is going to go on forever. But I think that wraps up my pros and cons list. Just really take into consideration, you know, all the things that I said. Look at the facts, you know, and if you can, eyeshadow at, you know, private schools. Shadow there, go in there, talk to people. Ask these people how do they vision their school, do they like it? But don't just talk to one person. Talk to as many people as you can while you're there, you know, and tell them to be straight up. Like whenever I had a shadow or whenever, you know, my friends had a shadow and I asked like, hey, do you like it here? I'll tell them straight up, listen, this is what you're gonna get, you know, this is the facts. Do you want to come here? Talk to your parents about it, you know, figure it out, truly. But really sit down, just sit down and just think about it. You know, I say this to my friends and I wish my friends were here to attest because they would say the exact same thing, but going to private school was probably my biggest regret. I didn't like it, and I didn't like going to the private college that gave me the most money. I just didn't. So you just really gotta think about stuff before you just start doing it. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up my video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.